much every NFL team has, started training camp at this point, but the Raiders, they got the leg up. They got started a couple of days before everyone else and really got to kind of get, rolling. And I think, with a new coach, kind of a new team atmosphere, you kind of need that extra time, in my opinion, to be able to kind of get rolling, especially when you're going to play the Jaguars. What was it? I think it's August 4th off the top of my head. I can't remember. But, you're about a week out from the very first game of the NFL season, the preseason game. I think the Raiders play the first one. Anyway, you need the extra time to prepare, but during that time, you also get to look at some players that are making the most of their opportunities. And today, we're going to talk about 3 Las Vegas Raiders players that are making the most of training camp. And like I said, I think, no matter what, I think earlier in the week before we kind of get into this, we had, I think, like the first video we talked about in terms of training camp for the Raiders, I believe off the top of my head, it was Bilal Nichols and Jonathan Hankins that were inactive or at least placed on the PUP list or physically unable to perform list. We talked about some of these guys already, but I really think that we really need to shine a light on some other players that, in my mind, will get more of an opportunity. So Raiders player number 1 that is making the most of training camp, by all accounts, guard Dylan Parham or guard center, wherever you want to play him. I don't care. Dylan Parham has been balling. They've according to multiple reports from reporters, everybody is throwing a lot at this kid, and he's standing up, and I love it. He's physical, he's athletic, and I think he's exactly what the Raiders need in order to kind of take that next step along their offensive line. And again, it's kind of rare when you see a younger player like this, take all these mental reps and get most of them right. So, I think from the technical aspect, that's the most important thing, especially early on in training camp. So if he already shows that he can handle that aspect, we already know physically what he can do. I think he's really going to be on the fast track to being a very good player for the Raiders in the offensive line. And you know what? I think they need a little bit of consistency there. Andre James, he's I think past the week 7 of last year really started to ball out. So with a guy like Dylan Parham on either side of him, and don't tell me that it doesn't help out a center when you've got a good guard right next to you. To your right or to your left, that spot is locked down. You ain't got to even worry about it, okay? So that definitely will help out the Raiders if they can get Andre James and Dylan Parham on this field at the same time. 2 guys that will lock down that interior because, Colton Miller is your star left tackle. Okay, fine after that. But your guard spots are kind of up in the air right now, especially when you talk about Denzel Good retiring. So, Dylan Parham really getting his chance there with Denzel Good retiring. He's making the most of it. You love to see it. And I think he's definitely going to be a name to continue to watch because he's going to be a fantastic player for the Raiders down the line. Raiders player number 2. Linebacker Darian Butler has been getting a lot of looks at linebacker. Well, obviously because he's a linebacker, but there was early reports of him even getting runs with the ones. And I believe I think the linebacker coach for the Raiders, I believe it's Antonio Pierce, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he coached Darian Butler at Arizona State. So we're talking about a guy that I believe is already really coming into his own and showed some things at Arizona State. We're talking about a guy that had 68 total tackles last year. His senior year also had a couple of sacks, 3 interceptions. So he shows the ability to be around the football and to make things happen. And I think that's kind of something the Raiders have missed. You look at a guy that's a linebacker, he only had 68 tackles. Well, sometimes tackles don't tell the full story. You have to look at the totality, everything, take everything into perspective, because 68 tackles might mean that, he had a couple of pass breakups. He had 3 his senior year, but it also might mean that, other players on his team really showed up. There's a lot of different things that go into it, but I encourage you guys, watch the tape on Darian Butler. He's a special player. He might even be able to come in and start as a guy that was a UDFA. That says a lot for a guy coming out of Arizona State, and I think he's going to do a lot for the Raiders, especially, you got Denzel Perriman, you got Jayon Brown. When you're running a 3-4 on that defense, it's going to be really interesting, but I think he's a player that you're going to really want to keep an eye on. Raiders player number 3, by all accounts, that has been balling out, wide receiver Tyrone Johnson. Now, we know the Raiders have possibly the best wide receiver duo in the entire NFL. I'm not afraid to say it. I've said it on record. They have the best wide receiver duo in the entire NFL. But when you got 2 of the best route runners in the entire NFL and the best wide receiver duo, you need a number 3. You need a number 3. I'll do it so you guys can see it. You need a number 3, a guy that can come in, stretch the field, go down, kind of like a Henry Ruggs situation. Prayers for everyone involved in that situation. But you need a guy that can go down there, stretch the field, and find a way to keep defenses honest. And Tyrone Johnson, I believe, is that guy. Now, he did spend a little bit of time with the Raiders back in the day, a couple of seasons ago, I believe. No, it was first the Chargers in 2020, then he played a little bit for the Raiders and the Jaguars last year. So, but I mean, just look at that. A guy, in 2020 had 20 catches for almost 400 yards, almost 20 yards per catch, really showing that he is that deep ball guy, that speedy guy that can stretch the defenses. And when you got a guy like him that's balling out to start things out, and I believe Mac Hollins has also been doing a very good job. But again, that wide receiver 3 position is wide open. Whoever wants it, go get it. Bring that other element to the Raiders offense. And man, oh man, let's just get rolling, because I think the Raiders, 2 really good wide receivers, possibly 2 of the best in the league. Well, Devontae Adams in the 99 club, that's not even up for debate. But when you talk about Tyrone Johnson, and whoever is going to come in at number 3, that number 3 wide receiver spot, it is so important to make sure that you are bringing in the right guys. And I'm really excited for Tyrone Johnson and whoever will step up at that number 3 spot to give that other element to the Raiders offense. But that's it. That's a short video today talking about the 3 Las Vegas Raiders players making the most out of their training camp. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. Give us a like and a follow there. Also remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the 3 Las Vegas Raiders players making the most out of training camp.